Welcome to the January 14th, 2026 Richmond Community School Board meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please have the reading of the mission and vision statements.
Vision statement: Richmond Community Schools guide students on pathways of learning to a future of limitless possibilities.
Vision statement: Richmond Community Schools, a collaborative community nurturing mind, body, and spirit to prepare students for lives of choice, purpose, and service.
Thank you. We have signed up for public commentary. We have one. Okay. So for public commentary, those who wish to comment at this evening's board meeting, the maximum time to speak is 5 minutes. Please keep your comments fact-based and within the time permitted. Comments are not to be personally directed or abusive. Comments recognizing the work of staff and students are always welcome. However, critical remarks concerning specific school personnel or students are to be made through the complaint policy available in policy 9130. School board members do not respond to public comments during the meeting, but the board president will send you a personal follow-up email. Please state your name before speaking. Jaylee.
See how smeltery that was? I'm a new man. I need to get up and go. Hello, everybody. Jay Lee, REA president. Fine, sir. Ladies. Hey, I just want to talk about RIFs real quick. There's nothing more stressful in the world when a teacher hears RIFs. All right. And we're starting to get a lot of comments, a lot of emails, a lot of things going. I know we're all going to be really cognizant and empathetic and so forth when we go through this process. Great state of Indiana and their greatness has decided to give us a 0.2% pay raise next year. That won't even keep the lights on with inflation. So we understand. We have asked several times for central office, and they've given us reassurances that cuts are going to be taken away as far as possible away from the classrooms. All right, and we understand that, and that's why I'm here. I just want to make that we want to help out as far as we can, but we do need to protect our children. We need to protect our teachers, and because that's where the rubber meets the road. In there, where they get in there and they're actually doing the education process. So that's really, really super important for us. And I just wanted to come back, and we're always available to talk. And I know we have some meetings coming up here in a couple of weeks, so that's one of my big first things every time. Another little topic that we want to talk about is just meetings. We're starting to see a lot of required meetings, especially in our elementary world, and it's taking away their prep times and their times where they can develop lessons, grade for lessons, prepare for the next lessons, reflect and all that stuff, and get there. I know I've been told this week by 2 teachers. One had 9 meetings this week, and another one says she does not have her prep period the whole week. And that's a lot of hours, a lot of time commitment outside of the teaching contract. Plus, you're not allowing those teachers to get their breath, and sometimes we need that. And so we'll be having further conversations with that. Welcome to the fray here, and it's going to be fun. And these guys are awesome to work with. You guys all know if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me and Dr. Wright. And thank you very much. I'll short and sweet this time.
Up next, we have the oath of office for Member Hilliard and Member Stevens. You guys like to follow up? Yeah.
All right, so Member Stevens and Member Hillard, Kathy Hillard and Aaron Stevens, if you will please stand. And These individuals are at large representatives for the board. Their term is January the 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2029. So I'm going to read the oath of office. I'll give you like a few words, and then I'll say them, and then you can read them back to me. Just want to make sure. Yeah. I affirm that I will support
I affirm that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
of America,
of America,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and the State of Indiana.
and the State of Indiana.
I will faithfully execute
I will faithfully execute
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
of this governing body,
of this governing body,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we would like to welcome both of our members, new member Hillard and member Stevens.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Stephen, here is this for you.
I will begin my 8th term as a member of this body. And I remember a long time ago, 2 individuals who came to my house, Richard Bryant, Eric Van Vliet, and another person who came and said that there was an issue, and we were hoping that we would get somebody to run for the school board who would fight for this issue. I remember the issue. It was a matter of elevating the requirement, the GPA requirements for participation in extracurricular activities at that time, wanting to raise it from what the NCC's standard was to something almost a point higher. And it seemed like it was unfair because we had young people out there who depended upon extracurricular activities, whether it's sports, band, or something else, to keep their minds focused on education, to keep them in school and not in the back of police cars or getting into that. And after praying about it for a couple of days, I went on and put my name on a ballot, and to my surprise, and I think there were like 8 or 9 candidates that year, and I beat 2 incumbents, actually totaled both of their votes. And that was then. My purpose on the board still has not changed. There are kids out here who need a voice to make sure that they are supported in their classrooms, in their homes, and whatever endeavor that they choose to do. And that is why I decided to run for an 8th term, which I believe right now has me currently the 3rd longest consecutive school board member in the state of Indiana. I want to recommit myself to each of the members of this board and to you, the students, the faculty, and the families of this corporation with my service. Thank you for your support. Well, I may not always vote the way you want me to, but I will vote with the conscience and what is best for all the students and the families that we have. So thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you here. I know it's always hard when we have an offset term and you have to wait a year, but it's been the longest, shortest year. I think that's a movie or a book, right? But it's really true. So we're really glad that you're here.
Thank you. I appreciate being able to serve. My husband and I are both graduates of Richmond, and our children are. And I am excited to give back to our community and to our school.
Great. Perfect. Okay. Moving on to celebrations, Dr. A.
President Pickering, trustees, I want to ask that Mrs. Bridget Hazelbaker, our Director of Student Support and Communications, join us at the podium to celebrate, highlight, and honor tonight's awardees.
We have a few visitors, as you can. So I would like to start off with middle school cross country. So if you're a middle school student athlete, please come up. All right, so we're just gonna face this direction. Well, actually, anybody want to take a picture of that? All good? We'll be taking a group picture in a second. I promise. All right, so we're gonna go down the line. And if you could say your name, what grade you're in, and what school you would attend.
Okay, so hi, my name's Morgan Lee. I'm in fifth grade and I attend Haverford Intermediate School. My name's Sheila. I'm in fifth grade and I also attend Haverford Intermediate School. My name's Aria Bales. I'm in seventh grade and I also attend Haverford Intermediate School. My name's Melanie Lopez. I'm in eighth grade and I also go to Haverford. My name's Molly Kennedy. I'm in seventh grade and I also.
My name is Corbin Bays, and I go to Dennis Middle School, 8th grade.
My name is Walt Brazel, and I'm in 8th grade, and I go to.
My name is Xavier Deloney. I'm in 8th grade, and I go to Dennis Middle School.
My name is Sam Sterling. I'm in 8th grade, and I go to Hebert.
My name is Ryan Loriaka. I'm in fifth grade and I go to Haverford.
My name is Charles Christian. I'm in 6th grade and I go to Hebert.
My name's Sam Zerwell. I'm in fifth grade and I go to Haverford.
My name is Brad Pitcher. I've been a coach for the last 4 years, and I've been stuck in 5th and 6th grade for about the last 30 years.
Right, and obviously this is not all of the students we are going to celebrate tonight, but Mr. Pitcher, will you explain a little bit about the success that your season had this year?
Okay. First, the people that are missing, you want to come up here?
Just a little bit, just so we can. The microphone.
The people that we're missing right now, including our assistant coach, all have basketball commitments, including Colton Carpenter, Mr. Davis, and maybe one or two more. This season, we started off a little bit behind where we've been the last few years, but we still ended it in the state meet. We won 3 invitationals this year. We finished first or second in almost every meet we went to. We finished third once. The boys capped the season off with a 34th place finish at the state meet, including Colton Carpenter, who was not here, finishing 33rd overall, and Walt Brazel, who is here, finishing 14th overall. So we had a first team and a second team all-state athlete. The girls finished similarly. They didn't win as much, but they were always competitive and they always got better, and that's really all I asked for. So
Now, who here is then, I mean, obviously, you all did the Boston Run, yes. Everyone's nodding their head, yes. And Morgan, I know we've seen you here because you won the Boston Run, what, 3rd grade and 4th grade? Yeah. Good, good. So who's 8th grade moving up to the high school cross country team next year? Oh, good, good. Oh, good. Use. Any other, what are you guys doing to help recruit people? I mean, I see there's a lot of Hibbert fit people here, but I mean, what can we do to help expand this sports program? Any ideas?
well, there are students from the other 2 schools.
I'm sorry. Yes, no, I understand. Just that those are here, but pretty exciting. And so who here does other sports as well as just cross country? Oh my goodness, that's great. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm just glad to see so many of you here. I know a lot of you. I will make the statement that I was cross country and soccer didn't overlap. You two in the middle. So we have to make a big decision, but it's just always exciting to see so many kids, especially at this level, come out and be involved, and just kudos for you guys.
Now, if anyone, I know I don't want you all to tell me, but who, I know we have a couple principals here as well. So if you're a principal of a middle school, will you stand up for me? I also have been to cross country meets, and I've seen at the beginning how the dash the parents run. So if you are a parent or a supporter of a cross country kid, please stand up so you can see them.
I was just going to say thank you to the coaches. I appreciate you and all of the coaches. It's a big commitment and it's paying off. Congratulations to you. Also, thanks to the parents, because that's a commitment also to get the kids there, picking them up, and so appreciate that.
I'll simply say that I would have. I'd be lying if I said I would have preferred to run across country. As a student athlete, running was always punitive. meaning there was a punishment in the sports that I played. And so therefore, running for leisure or running for sport, as you all do, is just, to me, rather amazing. And I'm definitely proud of you all's accomplishments. Look forward to the next level and the next steps in all of you all's careers. Coach Pitcher, I know that you have been growing this program for the last several years. And the passion that you, your team, the parents, the guardians, our community has when it comes to cross country, when it comes to running, is remarkable. Quick question to the students. Anyone ever ran more than 5 miles? Okay. Anyone run any more than 10 miles? Not yet. Okay. Anyone have aspirations of running more than 10 miles? Wow. Okay. That's impressive. Can all of you all beat your parents in running? I just wanted to see if this one young fella in the front would definitely raise his hand. Well, again, congratulations. The representation that you all have made and continue to make for our community is remarkable. So thank you.
You guys scooch in a little bit. I have Dr. Wright and Ms. Pickering have so they're trying to scoot in right here. Okay. So you guys can get in front of some of the taller people.
You want the tall people in the back?
Yes, Dr. Wright, you get up. All right, that's better. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. Moms and dads, we say go to scoot in. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Congratulations. All right. So our next group that we'll be highlighting is our high school. So high school boys cross country. Would you guys come up to the podium, please, and your coaches with your hardware? Mr. Lee is also here. He's our home director. Would you like to come up to Lee? Are you done? All right. So, will you please say your name, what school, what grade you're in, and obviously you all go to high school, so you have to say the school you're in. That sounds what grade you're in.
I'm Henry and I'm in 9th grade. Kenny Lee, freshman.
I'm Brady. I'm a junior.
My name's Austin Ritter and I'm a senior.
I'm Kale, and I'm also a junior.
I'm Trevor Crosby. I'm a junior. I'm Jordan, and I'm a senior. Oh, Heilman, a senior. Braden Bookworth, a senior.
Claire Lambright, 29th grade.
And then Daniel Cops.
Very good. So, Mr. Lambright, you can tell us a little bit about how successful your season went this year. Tell us a little bit about this. Or Mr. Cox too.
Yeah, no, not yourself.
So these boys, just like the middle school team, had a really successful season. They were county champs. I believe that was a 4P.
Yes.
4P county champs for the boys. They earned the first perfect score I've ever seen at an invitational. Connersville Invitational went 1 through 5, and no other school was in between them. It was kind of astonishing to watch it happen. That was the point where we knew they were really strong, but we didn't know quite how strong. And then I believe it was about a 50 points between them and second place in the sectional. And just a real tour de force. I mean, watching it, you got like parents and kids. You just hear them talking about Richmond. It was a really fun day. And everyone you see here was a member of the varsity team, either in the sectional race, filled in for someone at the regional. So we had 4 seniors here. None of them are also rans. All of them ran in the tournament series, or should have been able to run in the sectional. We do have. So these we do have 4 seniors, but between the talent that you saw about 5 minutes ago and the talent that's returning, we expect next year to be also just a very, very strong cross country season. But fortunately, I get the joy of working with these kids right now for track season as well. So we get to see what they're capable of year round. They're really good kids. We did not, our girls did not place in the sectional or conference, but
Reno.
Lena did. She qualified for the regional, but was unable to race it. So, you have any questions for our kids?
Any questions?
Yeah, is everyone planning on participating in track, or is anyone? Okay, so yay.
Oh, yeah. Almost.
Okay.
No pressure.
Anyone planning to run in college, the
Yes.
seniors? Okay, great.
Any other questions?
I was just saying, keep running until you can't anymore. So once you stop, it's really hard to start again. So it's just the middle schoolers. It's exciting to see you guys here. Such a present. So congrats.
Well, my understanding too, you have some academic excellence. You have your students, I mean, as far as GPA, your student athletes are pretty stellar as well. So that's a great attribute as well.
Absolutely. Coaches, athletes, I definitely commend you all for your success, your continued success. The program has continued to grow, as Coach Lambright mentioned, and as was alluded to with Coach Pitcher. A varsity program is only as successful as the feeder program or the youthful development of those behind it. So for you student athletes, the model that you all have put in motion and have put on display for others to follow suit is remarkable, and to be able to come home with hardware and know that that is forever. It truly is a proud moment for the entire city, for our school corporation, definitely your parents. Did any of your parents join you all this evening? Parents of our high school student athletes, if you all could stand and be recognized, that'd be great. To Mr. Lee, our athletic department, Ms. Wolpe, the administration, and coaches, again, tremendous job. We do have a board member that was a former track star himself, and he may even take you up in a street race following this board meeting. So if you want to come back in 2 hours, Mr. Elroy may just take you out on Hub Exton.
Wait, I'm the one that still has the school record.
Wait a minute, I have the school record too.
Hey, the first 20 meters, I'll get
I
you.
knew this would happen. I knew this would happen.
After that, I might fade in the background.
Again, congratulations.
By the way, gentlemen, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, none of our other sports programs in Richmond had more conference and sectional championships than track and cross country. So, you think about football, you think about basketball, you think about baseball, but you go back in the records and you look 60s, 70s, and 80s, and you see how many teams have their pictures not only on this wall, but also in Indianapolis as champions. So you're carrying on and you're reigniting an old tradition. So congratulations.
Shoes, shorts, and snacks are all really we need.
All right.
To keep doing it. Shoes, shorts, and snacks.
Thank you.
So never it'll never be broken. It's a 60-yard pipe. Never. Stay forever.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, moving on to item 5, which is the reorganization of the Board of School Trustees. Up first, we have election of officers. And as the current president, I just wanted to say that I sort of decided not to throw my name in the hat for president for this current year. So it's weird when I say the school year. And, you know, it was a great year. We had lots to get done, strategic planning, collective bargaining. We're going into another busy year. But, you know, for personal reasons, I think my oldest is going to be a senior. So I think that is going to be a lot of stress on me, but also really exciting. So with that being said, you know, I would like to make the nomination for Austin Brand to become potentially or throw his name in the hat for the next president.
I'll second that nomination.
So that was a motion by
Still not too late.
Member Pickering and a second by
I was
Member
gonna third that one.
Stoltz. Are there any other nominations for president?
I move the nomination to be closed on this Monday.
Oh, I'll second. I think that. Yes, that we
So
close
that's
the
a motion
nominations.
by Member Stevens and a second by Member Stoltz to close the nominations. So I will call for a vote. All those in favor for Member Brand to become the next president, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Did you vote? Okay, vote passes 6-0. So, it's customary. I will hand over the agenda
Where are we at?
and the gavel.
Oh, sweet.
Yes. And so you
Okay.
can move to vice president.
All right, so we're I'm just reading this like
we
we're
can call for
Okay.
say we're moving on to vice
Yeah,
president.
we're moving on to vice president.
Okay.
I'm sure you don't want to finish this. We have nominations for vice president, or I would like to vote for Nicole Stoltz as vice president.
I'll second.
Second. Okay.
I move that the nomination vote be closed on this Monday.
Second.
Sure.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say nay. All right, vote passes. Did you vote?
I did not.
6-0. All right. Do we have nominations or anyone wanting to be secretary?
I will nominate Michael Loriaga for secretary.
Second.
I move that we close the nominations.
Second. Okay. All those in favor of nominating Mike for secretary, say aye.
Aye.
All those against, say nay. Passes. Mike, did you know? Nope. Passes 6-0. All right, moving on. Item number 5.02, appointments. Dr. Ray.
So do you announce her?
You want to announce to me that? Good. Sure.
Or for expedience sake, we just have a motion to approve the appointments. Is that all right?
We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a second. So let's have a motion by Member Stoltz. Second by Loriaga. All those in favor of the appointments, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Passes 7.
President Franklin. First time that I've been here.
So much easier. So much.
As we move about with regard to appointments, I believe it has been customary during this meeting in January to also acknowledge the appointments across the board to the different board committees, community representation.
I'm sorry. There's so much to make up.
So is that you?
Actually, you're fine. I'll just throw it out. So, I would like to make a nomination for the Richmond Redevelopment Commission. Member Stoltz.
Second.
May I interrupt just for a moment? Yeah, you guys pull your microphones towards you. Sure. A little bit. Thank you. That'll help the audience.
Yes.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Second.
Ron, do we have to close nominations, or can you just vote based on?
Ask if there are any other nominations, and if there aren't, then
Yeah. Okay.
Any other nominations for RDC? Now we'll be voting on that, Ron. Or- okay. So all those in favor of Nicole representing us on the RDC, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Vote passes 6-0. All right, do we have a nomination for legislative liaison?
Nominate Kathy Hilliard.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Vote passes 6-0. Did you vote, Kathy? Sorry. Okay. All right, and do we have nominations for an ISBA delegate?
I nominate Aaron Stevens.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Vote passes 6-7. I'm sorry.
you can vote for yourself.
All right, moving on to item 5.03, approval of all existing policies and guidelines.
I move to approve item 5.03, approval of all existing policies and guidelines.
Second.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Vote passes 7-0. Right. Item 6.01. Organization of board as a board of finance. So enter a motion to close the board of school trustees meeting and convene.
Suspend. the board.
Suspend.
So I will make that motion to suspend the Board of Trustees meeting and convene as the Board of Finance.
Second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Vote passes 7-0.
I'll make a motion then to elect the school board president and secretary as the president and secretary of the Board of Finance.
Second. All right, that was a motion by member Stoltz, second by member Stevens. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Vote passes 7-0. Right. Item 6.02, investment summary report.
President Graham, we would now ask the Assistant Superintendent for Business and Finance, Mr. Karen Scout, during the podium to
Good evening, everybody.
join me in the fun.
We are going to attempt to make this as not boring as possible, and essentially make it pretty quick and simple as well. Greg, can you get the presentation ready for me, please? The investment summary is before the board tonight, and it has been posted to board docs. That summary totals $283,547 in investment that were interest bearing. We do have a money market with JP Chase. We have another money market that is specific to food services with JP Chase. We do have a sweep account for both that connects our payroll and our accounts payable account with JP Chase. And then we also have a Trust Indiana investment consortium that is a government pool where we invest funds as well on a more long-term basis. That is also a money market type account. The one note as we look ahead to future years, We are going to be evaluating that Trust Indiana versus our current bank account investment interest earned, because currently Trust Indiana is much higher than Chase by multiple percentages. And so I am looking into that over an average to see if it's worth just moving some additional funds over to Trust Indiana rather than utilizing quite so much in Chase. Just so that we could accrue more if possible. So that'll be coming down in the future, but I did want to let the board know that we are always evaluating our interest rates, and should the need to change banks or RFP for something different, we would bring that to the board at that time. But tonight, that is our investment summary for calendar year 2025. So I ask the board to accept that.
I'll make a motion to accept the report as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
I would just say I'm glad to see that we're making some money for our, some interest. It's fantastic. Big sum of money. What is the interest rate on average? I think you said it varies.
Yeah, so the interest rate for Trust Indiana right now is 4.75.
Okay.
So it's very good. The interest rate at Chase is a market interest rate. It changes by the day. So it's whatever the market is. The one note that is a little bit different in recent months is we have started getting services on that account that it is only as available as government funds are available. And so with those new notices, we're going to be evaluating that account even closer to make sure that we do not have any worries for our investments. So that's something new that has come just this last quarter, but we are kind of monitoring that account very closely, making sure that that doesn't look at all volatile. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Does that interest work like a regular account where, if you get to a certain threshold, the interest rate does change, or is it sort of you lock in at a?
No, it's locked in. The Trust Indiana account is a little different because it's actually housed at the state of Indiana and it's through the treasurer's office. And they actually pool a lot of government resources, so that power behind the investment is really high. And so that market moves very quickly and it moves much higher than the average money market account does in just a singular bank. And that's because everyone is moving their resources that are in government entities in a protected way. We are limited in our type of investments that we can have. And so it is a really good option for us to get a little bit higher interest rate than we could get at our local banks. So the JP Morgan is more it's more of an annual or a monthly basis depending on which type of account it is. So yeah, we can RFP that and lock it in, and we have done that from time to time. It's just that the market has been a little bit volatile is the finance word. It sounds really tough, but that's the word to move a lot right now. And so some months it's really high, some months it's barely anything. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0.
President Grant. I would close the board school finance meeting and return to the board of trustees.
Second.
I think I have to present this first.
Oh,
By
yes.
state statute, this is a required report. So if we can just hold that motion for just a second, we'll move through it as quick as we
I
can.
will take back my motion.
Okay. Are we ready for the report?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move through this fairly quickly. There is a lot of detail in this report. The board has the full report at their stations. They can review that. In the future, we are going to hit those things that are a little bit easier for our public to see tonight. So basically, I just wanted to review what it is that we at the school feel is important with our budget. And I love this quote from Jacob Lew. He was the former U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, and he says the budget is not just a collection of numbers. but an expression of our values and aspirations. So where we put our money is where we put our values. And I know during the strategic planning process, this has been something that we have talked about a lot, but it is shown in all of the things that we do as we review this report tonight. So we have a list of all of our expense types. Please note that transfers are on that. Transfers in the expenses are a part of the totals. So you could technically subtract that from the total to get the net expense, less those transfers. I tried to maintain the way that the Form 9 looks at this so that you do get the report in its form. It's most like what you're going to see on the Form 9. But there are variant factors during this year, so those are listed. The biggest of those is the end of the ESSER grant funds. Overall, over the entire period, we received nearly $21 million in ESSER funds over that period of time, of which that last $13 million was part of the very last closed grant. And all of that wrapped up in spring of last year. So we do see a tremendous difference in our grant funding, and that is because of those grants, as well as the close of some school improvement grants that we had in the previous year. The other thing to take note, just some big changes last year, we implemented Head Start. We also moved and transitioned from our CSPD to RPD for resource officers. That changes lines from salaries down to services. And then just general wrap up of some projects that had been in progress, as well as taking out 24 bonds. So those are the biggest changes. There's also, you will see that big number in transfers. The textbook fund did move into the ed fund. And so that kind of skews that number a little bit. That was a statutory requirement. So in layperson's terms, it's much easier to see how we spend our money in a chart. And so each of these numbers have been charted into the percentage of the budget. You can see that blue and green are our salaries and benefits. Those are where the bulk of our funds go. So as we are putting value to our budget, our people are our business. So that's how you can see that right there in our expenses. The next side is revenue. We broke this down into state tuition support or state school distributions, real income and property tax, grant funds, donations, bond funds, and then other. And again, we have transfers on the revenue side. Those were taken out of these totals, and that's so that you can see the net revenue of actual funding received. The same factors apply, as well as any changes to the funding formula. And this you can see by far our biggest revenue comes directly from state funding, and that comes from student enrollment. So that is how we know what we're going to get in revenues is that state budget and how many students walk through our doors. So as we look at, and this got a little bit skewed, it looks a little bit better on the printed sheet, but this reviews our taxing funds and the budget orders that are directly impacted to our taxpayers with the budget process that we had last fall. This is the portion that is specific to types of funds. So in schools, we have to silo our funds, and those that are taxable to our local properties are these funds. So we have a rainy day fund, which does not handle any tax burden or any levy. We have our debt service fund. You can see that grew. And then it's lower this year because we have a higher assessed value. So you can see those numbers down below. Unfortunately, where you see the certified 2025 and the estimate 2026, those are the circuit breaker numbers. I apologize for that. If the board refers to their paper, it's going to look a lot better. And then that will look better when it's loaded into the minutes. So that will be much cleaner there. And just a note to the board and the public, circuit breaker numbers are a part of that budget appropriation, and you have to subtract that from the operations fund or the debt service fund, or a mix of both, to set your budgets. So we are seeing over $5 million loss to those funds this year. That is the highest we have ever done. And this is with the new legislation in place.
Is that why there was an inspirational quote?
There is. There's another at the end. There's another
You don't
at the
typically
end.
see
But I
that on a
have to,
finance
like,
report.
I'm even wearing pink because I really wanted to soften this. It's like we're all going to be in this together next year, or this year. I guess we're in January. So
Thank you for that, Karen.
yes. So here's our question. Predicting the future with any degree of certainty is impossible. The key is to react accordingly to any situation as it arises. I just really liked this because that's where we are right now. So we know that we have tremendous changes ahead. This year is the first year in which we are going to see that. We have a lot of opportunities for budgetary redevelopment, I guess is what we'll say, and to really looking into what we do and how we do it, and to do it with less. I think that there is a famous quote by the governor, which I will not quote, about that, but we're all just supposed to be ready for it. We're going to do it. So what I do have to present during this meeting is the fiscal indicators that is required by state statute. There is a link to the dashboard in the presentation that is uploaded to Board Docs just after this. It's not working right now, but it is hopefully going to get going. Go. There is a dashboard at the Fiscal Indicators website. This is a part of the Distressed Unit Appeals Board. You just go to this website, you select your school, or you type it in. I cannot see that.
Yep, that's right.
And then you can look at all of these items. You can look at enrollment and demographics, fund balances, annual deficit or surplus, operating referendum revenue, which we do not have, and that area would be blank, revenue by type, and fund balance as a percent of the expenditure. So all of these are available to our public on a regular basis. There is a little bit of a delay in the information just based on state reporting, but this is all right here and available to each member of our public. It gives a full analysis of what our financial outcomes look like, as well as our enrollments and trends. So that is something we watch very closely. The board knows the Distressed Unit Appeal Board is not always our friend, but they are here to help guide us and keep us in good standing throughout the state for all government entities. So just a note that if there should ever be a time that they see concern with our finances, they do have a watch list. We are very close to that watch list right now. So we are monitoring our finances on a monthly basis, as we have always done. But we are working very hard to get off of that watch list, and we'll continue to do so throughout this year. So while there are challenges, we're going to all work together, and we're going to get there. So do I have any questions?
I have a quick question on the countywide totals for circuit breaker. So I see it broken down. So generally when you talk circuit breaker, is it sort of all of those combined?
That's all combined. Okay, is our total.
Okay. So
there
just never seen it broken out, or really, I guess, noticed that there are like buckets.
Yep.
So that's good to see. Are we able to sort of forecast, like for example, over 65 circuit breaker? You know, what are the demographics of Wayne County?
Yeah.
It's
So I will caveat that. And Misty is here and she is on our county council and she can second this. Sorry, but you're gonna know the answer to this. She and Ron might be the ones that I'm not gonna surprise. So those are broken down on the abstract at the auditor's office. I used to do the abstract. I could probably do a little bit of estimating. The average person could not, because they have to know our county trends. They have to understand assessed values and how each unit is different, because that breakdown is just a portion of the other breakdowns that exist in the abstract when you're putting it all together. So that is a cumulative total of a whole lot of other lines. And so the average bear probably could not do that. Is it possible to do like overall generalized trends? Yes. The Department of Local Government Finance gives us, and you can see that on the Form 3, each year with the budget, they give us a predicted number. Typically those used to come in really a lot lower than what they were. Recent years have not trended lower. They have trended almost spot on or a little bit higher when we have gotten the certified net AVs after the abstract has been completed. The auditor's office takes care of all of that at the county, and they provide that. You have to certify it over to the state, and then that's where those reports come from. So while we can do that, we can't change. That's beyond our control to change. Right. So, yeah.
I was gonna ask about utilities. I know the 2 million we spent on utilities isn't very high, and we've spent 72 million on expenses, but Aaron and I were able to go to the ISBA conference this last fall with Dr. Wright. And I went to a breakout session on energy audits, and I think that may be something we should look at. Not only does it help the environment and having an energy audit, but overall it helps us lower our utility costs. I did notice that our utility costs went down about 140,000. Why? Do we have any?
So it is directly impacted from RHS and the HVAC changes there. And Dennis, we've saved just in the 6 months since that project has started. We will see additional savings next month. But some of our oldest buildings have had some significant energy efficiencies entered into them. The other thing, and these are much more minor, but when we did through some of the ESSER grants, we did some small. They used to be called pony boilers or smaller boiler. They kind of jumpstart your boilers and take off some of the load. They're much more efficient than the big old boilers. So those have saved us a little bit of money at the elementaries as well. So we are seeing savings as a result of those projects. And that's where when we looked at bond funds and the return on investment and the length of time that we've taken them, HVAC projects have directly impacted that bottom line. So not only did it save us in maintenance costs, as you can see, that went down a little bit, especially at the high school. It also has resulted in energy savings as we expected it to. So those should only increase as those projects rack. We still have a little bit of work to do at the high school. They're commissioning that project right now. Dennis will finish next summer, and then we should continue to see a little bit of a trend there. And hopefully we'll keep up that work as we look ahead. The other thing provided to the board, this is not a part of the packet, and you just have updates. You have the budget orders from 25-26. You have the circuit breaker reports from 25, as well as the 26 estimate on the 26 Form 3, and then you do have a project update on the bond funds. The one note, and this is a Kevin and Karen caveat. The bottom line number that says that there is still funds to reallocate. This is pre-bid for all of those items in pink that aren't in yet. So it does not mean we have those funds yet. And I have to stress that because these are estimates that we hope to come in at that number, but it is not there yet. So until those are in next month, we do not have that final total yet. That's still in working condition, but that gives you just the kind of status check of where we are right now with those bids that we have received and items that are either done or in process. You do have the color coded chart that tells you where we're at.
Thank you, Mrs. Scott.
Yep. Thank you.
We have a motion to accept. As presented.
So, second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. So passes 7-0. No. All right.
Big motion to close the board finance.
We have a second. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 7-0.
And I'll make a motion to reconvene as the Board of School Trustees. Second.
All right, moving on. Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Vote passes 7-0. Today. All right, moving on to consent items. Items 7.01 through 7.07.
And also the addendum president line.
And the addendum 7.0.
I will make a motion to accept consent item 7.01 or 7.07 along with the HR agenda.
I'll second.
A motion by member Pickering, second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 7-0. Action item 8.01 donations. We have a motion to approve donations totaling $17,500 as presented.
So moved.
Second. There's a motion by member Stoltz, a second by member Stevens. Any questions or comments? I always like to say thank you. The donations, much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you. Saying $17,500. That's amazing. So we have a really generous community, and just that they continue to support all the projects, and supports, and extracurriculars, and students, and trips, and it's always great.
And I just wanted to highlight, as we just got the financial report, last year's total was $82,347.36, but that's very impressive. And it was up quite a bit from the year prior at $36,753.08. So very generous community.
Questions, comments? All right. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.02, conflict of interest statements. A motion to approve the conflict of interest statements as presented.
So moved.
Second. It's a motion by member Brunton, second by member Stevens. Any questions or comments?
No, I'm assuming everyone is allowed to vote on the conflict of interest statements.
Is that correct?
I think I'm the only one without it, and I'm only one person.
So I'm sorry.
I would say, I'm assuming, I think we have in the past, everyone is allowed to vote on their own conflict of interest statement.
Actually, you don't vote to approve them, you vote to accept them.
Okay.
That's the way the statute reads, but
Okay.
I consider that a difference without a distinction.
Gotcha. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.03, temporary transfer to a depleted fund. We have a motion to approve this resolution.
I make a motion to approve the temporary transfer to a depleted fund.
Second. It's a motion by member Pickering and a second by member Elariaga. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.04, resolution to transfer appropriation.
President Brand, I move to approve 8.04, the resolution to transfer appropriation as presented.
I'll second.
It's a motion by member Stevens, a second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. 8.05, resolution to transfer amounts from education fund to operations fund.
I move to approve the resolution to transfer funds or amounts from education fund to operations fund.
It's a motion by member Stoltz. Second.
I'll second.
Second by member Pickering. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.06, resolution to carry appropriation to 2026.
I move to approve 8.06, the resolution to carry appropriation to 2026 as presented.
I'll second.
So motion by member Stevens, a second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments? All those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.07, the MOU with Whitewater Community Television, Inc. We have a motion to approve this memorandum of understanding.
Yes, I would like to move to approve the MOU with WCTV.
Second.
That's a motion to approve by member Stoltz, second by member Stevens. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm excited about this opportunity for our students, as it would involve student interns, just so the public knows that that's part of what we're working towards, is having a collaboration with WCTV. Also getting WCTV back into the high school, which is where it was when I was at the high school. Kind of fun to think that it's going to be back there should this pass. And so excited to potentially collaborate.
Yes. All right. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.08, request to advertise for the secure main entrance at Richmond High School.
I move to approve 8.08, the request to advertise for the secure main entrance at Richmond High School is presented.
I'll second.
There's a motion to approve by member Stevens, a second by member Pickering. Any questions or comments?
Yes, I have a few. I know we visited the high school to kind of figure this out, and I looked through the plan, but it's confusing to me. The ceiling view, the mechanical view, maybe it's just, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding what that is that we discussed when we're there. That Dr. Wright, maybe you can help. I was hoping Mr. McCurdy would be here. But so the main entrance that's used now, that foyer, is going to be, there'll be an entrance from there to go into rooms to the right, and then rooms to the left. Also, the principal's there. Is that what?
That's not where you're facing.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, if I walk in the main entrance, right?
The
current main entrance. Yes.
Current door 1A.
Yes.
Is where
The brick. It's a brick enclosure.
and that's door 1. So
Okay.
door 1 is ideally where this work will be. Following you all's tour, last fall, it was decided upon that previously, if you all recall, the conversation that centered around utilizing door 1A and the space to the right of door 1A. Now we're going to the space to the left, which is door 1, as you mentioned, which is the brick.
Yes.
The original.
That'll be the
original.
original. It'll go back to the original main entrance.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what this
Okay.
speaks to.
And the point of this is to make high school more secure.
Correct.
And to be able to, so parents will be able to come in that area, but then there'll be rooms where they can meet with administrators or teachers without accessing the entire high school essentially. And then will the principal's office be located here as well, or is that still, we don't have that figured out?
That is something that as we move down the road, as we work with Richmond High School administration, because with this roll back. It's been a while since the majority of the administrative offices will remain where they are.
Okay.
However, this particular plan will give the RHS administration some opportunity to rearrange if they so chose.
Okay.
For the most part. Because I knew that was one of the concerns that had come up, is centralizing much of the administration. This affords for our just administration as well as our central officers to determine what's best as we move forward.
Great.
For the most part.
Thank you for reminding me and clarifying as I look those schematics and this.
Oh, yeah, it's intense when you.
It is intense.
I
Yeah.
would ask just for a simplified version. It really was.
I mean, I spent a lot of time looking at it.
Right.
I did
Like,
ask him
what
for
do we
detail.
do?
I did ask him for
Oh,
detail.
really?
got detail.
But
Yeah,
I
you
was
got
thinking
detail.
This.
pictures.
I feel like I could build this now.
Yeah.
Architectural 101 would be on this.
Carry
He should have
with.
schematic designs for you that might be a little
Yeah.
easier, because obviously these are construction documents that are being bid, so
Right.
you're not
Right.
expected. Well, maybe you should be expected to figure those out as much as you've been through, but realistically, schematic designs where you need to have that communication.
Well, I think it'd be good too, even with these, to walk through and just get reacquainted, because we talked about so many different things and we changed it, and now putting it into different perspectives. So maybe President Brand, if you can organize that visit.
The secretary.
The secretary.
Member Brunton has been a master
The president.
at range
You can tell.
delegated.
We actually have a visit tomorrow at the high school.
Yeah, we do have a visit tomorrow.
Right.
So.
But yes, I'm happy to organize a visit to walk through that.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.09, request to advertise career center restrooms.
Move to approve the request to advertise the Career Center restrooms.
Second. Say motion by member Stoltz, a second by member Eloriaga. Any questions or comments?
I mean, sorry. I had looked at these, but these aren't really replacing maybe, okay.
For the most part,
Okay.
sprucing up and trying to
Mm-hmm.
bring some modernity to
Yes.
that area.
Yeah. Okay.
Really hasn't changed since being able to sprung those holes.
All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.10, request to advertise RHS room renovation.
I move to approve item 8.10, the request to advertise RHS room renovation as presented.
Motion by member Stevens,
Second.
second by member Pickering. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.11, light bolt practice field, track resurfacing, and tennis court replacement agreement.
I move to approve item 8.11. Light practice field turf resurfacing and tennis court placement agreement.
Second. So motion by member Pickering, a second by member Eloriaga. Any questions or comments?
I would just comment, recall, these are being done on a QPA because I think we met in the bids that you bid it and came in a little higher than I think there was a little bit of shock there. It's a substantial savings this way. It will come back to you in a little more subtle form in that Mr. McCurdy, LWC, and I have agreed that we think those contracts still ought to be documented on the standard AIA owner contractor contract. It'll have to come back for approval, but it'll just be embodying the same numbers that you've already seen. So, and I don't want to quote the number, but we met Kevin last week, and it's just still substantial savings doing it this way.
I think the number was 800,000 or so.
Something like that, more than 800.
Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 8.12, Richmond Symphony Orchestra requests for approval for alcohol sales.
I move to approve the RSO request for approval for alcohol services.
Motion by member Stoltz, second by member Chickering. Any questions or comments?
I have a few. This is a policy that we're currently looking at. We looked at in November, a policy meeting in December, still kind of going back and forth, thanks to Mr. Hensley and Mr. Cross looking at it. And so I think most of it we wanted to remain the way it is with a few questions. But I did notice, only because I had remembered we had discussed it with RAM back when they had a request in November, that section about the security personnel, and I noticed this request left that blank. And so I wasn't sure what that meant, or, you know, how many, I think that's a big question we discussed with RAM. And our policy doesn't currently say how many requests, or, you know, or just that it needs to be present, how many people. So I just wanted to clarify if maybe Karen, if you know how many, I know they say Richmond Police Department, but how many? I noticed the guest level was 800 in attendance. So I just was curious because that's an important part of making sure the facility's safe and the people inside are safe.
Yeah, so I spoke with Ms. Cushline yesterday, and she is in contact with RPG. They are gonna provide services for this. And they will look at the total number attending, and then they will make a recommendation based on that. So they will be RPD officers, and they will have a ratio based on that attendance level.
Okay,
Great.
Thank you.
So then are we safe to assume if it references on PD, we know that they're going to look at the ratio, right? I don't wanna.
I would say that's one of the things.
I don't wanna hold to that, but.
Yeah, we would always defer to their extra regulation.
If I can speak from professional experience,
But I think we
if you're going to have an event that involves alcohol, there's always going to be, for officer safety and public safety, officer to public or attendee ratio. So that will be determined. The number of officers, I'm sure, will be determined on how many people planning on being in attendance.
Something we talked about in the policy meeting, and because it doesn't specify if it's a certain group of people in the ratio, but that we defer to the operations director to kind of vet that when it comes to us. So it seems like that's probably what would work.
All right, all those in favor?
Well, I did have one thing. Are you needing to recuse yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead,
I
sorry.
need to recuse myself from this, since I will be catering the alcohol.
Financially profiting.
Day one.
All right, so all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 6-0.
Nicole, was there still an interest in how that policy looked at to allow recurring annual events not to have to go through the policy if they provide the externally I think that was a talk.
That was something that I brought up on behalf of RAM had requested that and was saying it'd be nice if we didn't have to do that, you know, because here we have like RSO having several, you know. So if we as a board want to look at that and decide like, okay.
I think you tell Steve we can look at it, and I think you still want to get them to provide the information in the application for the use and then the disclosures.
But like consolidate it.
And it may not have to come to the board.
I'm wondering if the operation is Mr. Moss, you know, if they put in for a 3-year, right, the operations would sort of manage that and then say, after 3 or 5, whatever, then they have to come back. Because then it's like, who's going to manage?
And that goes into we potentially create an administrative guideline to just keep this in the purview of us and Joel.
Yeah, and then when it comes, we know it's a 3-year.
I think historically you have to understand there was a lot of consternation when the board went this direction the first time, in the first place, because there wasn't something that wasn't without potential naysayers. So,
but at this point, we've established Kristen, and it's going smoothly, and yeah, so.
The only thing
Thanks for
I'd
the
say
reminder.
that we talked about before was that if we allow for longer periods of time, then there's a chance that, you know, permits are not up to date or insurance policies have changed and we aren't, you know, so this protocol.
That's on
allows that
Kathy.
to-
I mean.
Our licenses and permit are, you know, are once a year, also with the insurance, so it's renewed yearly.
But it's
I
also
was
sort of
looking
main
at
operations.
Operations would probably
Yes, I
verify.
think so.
Yeah, I think they, yeah, I would assume they look at that every year anyway, before it even comes to us.
No, that would streamline things for everyone.
We are still looking at this in policy. It's, I can't remember. I definitely know we haven't decided to move it forward yet, so that may be something that.
Look at it, February.
Vision. Stephen, did you hear that?
Say it again.
Okay.
As long as you've heard the discussion.
The next policy meeting.
Or there's a recording of it too.
Yeah, the next policy meeting, policy 7436, the alcohol-free facility and board approved exceptions, if we can look at
Yeah.
making some community partners that we work with, I think there's two
On the regular.
on the regular that maybe we can add it. Make
We
it
could look at modifying the policy. We could also look at an AG that would specify a recurring procedure for those organizations that do come back year after year. My question to the board might be, if a vendor changes or if an alcohol license expires, we'd have to know the documentation, like have a list of when those things expire year, or if a vendor changes. But I think it's doable. Sounds great. All those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So you're good. So it passes 6-0.
No, we did.
Okay,
We did.
twice.
Right.
We start talking.
Double stamp.
Yeah.
All right, item 9.01, we're on to policy review and update. This is policy 0142. Election ineligibility to serve, first reading.
I make a motion to move policy 0142, election and eligibility to serve, to second reading.
Second. So motion by member Pickering, second by member Stevens. Any questions or comments?
I have a few comments. So this just revises to incorporate changes made by House Enact Bill 287. It kind of cleans up some wording. It adds that candidates for school board need to list or their political party affiliations. And it also lowers the age of eligibility from 21 to 18 for those running for school board. It's kind of, that's kind of an overview.
And it's not necessary to
That's right.
affiliate with a party.
Right.
But
You can affiliate saying you don't want to disclose, but something you have to make an extra step to do that. Yes.
All right, all those.
Excuse me, I want to be clear
Yes.
that even though it states, party declaration, that you can state that you do not wish to disclose that.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to be clear on that, so the public is clear on that, because I know there are a lot of people who still look at the school board as the one singular elected entity in the state of Indiana, where politics are not a part or requirement of being a seated member. And I'm sure that we all have our different viewing, opinions on political views, but I would never want any of us, whether it be here or there, be strictly guided by the voices and minds of someone else, just to go on party line.
And I do think, just to piggyback where that comes into play, is if, for whatever reason, if someone has to leave the board and wants to declare, if you do declare for a party, the party chooses the next school board member, not the school board. So some of us have been appointed, and generally we interview and we make appointments, but if you choose not to disclose, or you can make independent or choose not to run under a party,
the school board does still, they're able to uphold. So I think that's really important. It's unfortunate, I will still say publicly, that this came into play. I think it's, you know, we work really hard. I mean, we're here for the kids, not for political parties. So
Questions or comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 7-0. Item 9.02, policy 3220, staff evaluation, first reading.
I move to move policy 3220, the staff evaluation, to second reading.
Second. So motion by member Stoltz, a second by member Stevens. Any questions?
Just a summary, evaluations are still annually, that hasn't changed. It does remove the rating categories of highly effective, and it does not list performance indicators. And it does add that our evaluation plan will be posted on our district website. And it does change that this is not subject to collective bargaining, nor is discussion required. So there's some changes because of legislative changes.
So, do we choose our own indicators? Do we know how that it's removing?
It still leaves in the policy that the things that the corporation may consider, like test scores of students, observations, all that stuff. I mean, it still has a list of those. It's just not saying the highly effective improvement necessary.
Can we choose how we?
Well, that
You know,
Indiana
like
code
being
is
a charter,
now
right?
been removed, right? So that
You need to have what is, you know, we talked about Dr. Rain's evaluation. You need to set what is effective, what is highly effective. So, I mean, they say like this is part of a policy that's being rolled out to us. It just makes it more subjective, and I don't know how to.
maybe Dr. Wright, you can speak to that of what evaluations are being used and will continue to be used.
And not to steal his thunder, because I know he's been working hard. I know he also could potentially utilize some systems, but also to give him an opportunity to come to the podium for the very first time. If I could ask that Mr. Stephen Hensley, our Director of Human Resources, join us in conversation, and his predecessor could also potentially speak to this. And he also worked on this with great detail. Of course, Stephen, if you could briefly just share some of the things we discussed, not only in the policy, but also.
So this policy, what it does in response to a legislative change, it no longer requires that we use those 4 categories. Previously, we had to use highly effective, ineffective, or improvement necessary. Those are required. Now it says you may. Now we currently use for our evaluative tool for teachers in the bargaining unit, it is the RISE rubric. We still use that. But you see districts around the state that'll adopt like a local model. And what the state is doing is allowing some local flexibility, if you would like it, to adopt a model and you redefine it for you locally. It does not mean that we have to move away from the RISE rubric. We can still use those ratings. It's just no longer legislatively required. And so in the second half of the policy, it also says that changes the discussion language, which was another response to a legislative change. So again, it doesn't say it's required because that changed. It says it's may. So we could still do it. It's just it's not legislatively determined.
Thank you, Mr. Hensley. You're welcome. And just to also add, when push comes to shove, as classroom educators as well as administration will always allow descriptive feedback is so important. And of the evaluatory tool that we currently use that Mr. Hensley just referenced, we'll continue to put that in motion. But we're also going to, as we move down the road, find and assess the effectiveness, going back to those terms, the effectiveness of our evaluatory tools. Because the most important thing as we move down the road is to make sure that our educators have such feedback to improve upon their instructional best practices.
Well, I think it'd be good too as we flesh that out a little more, and you know, someone who's been in charge of the process of your evaluation to, you know, sort of see what we, you know, are doing for the teachers. I mean, we see it, you know,
a little bit, but like, what have we really decided? How do we evaluate the building administrators? Because some of that might be helpful when we're working through your evaluation too, of like, what are they being graded on? Not necessarily if that's specifically what you are, but just you kind of have that flow up and then back down, which as we always are talking through the superintendent evaluation. It's getting better. Not your evaluation, I mean the process we have to do it. So
Any other questions, comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 9.03, policy 3220.01, teacher appreciation grants, first reading.
Mr. President, I make a motion that 9.03, the teacher appreciation grants, be moved to second reading.
Second. So motion by member Stevens, a second by member Iloriaga. Any questions or comments?
The comments are the addition of eligibility for TAB, and it clarifies that we may apply for distribution of these, but you don't necessarily have to. I know during policy, we had discussions about some corporations that are choosing not to for some good reasons. So this kind of gives some flexibility, but the IDOE develops a rubric which we have to follow. This is a new code, Indian code.
So if we choose to follow this, is that something that the administration decides? Do you work with REA? Like how?
Yes, ma'am. And we did just that this year. And it was decided that we would apply. We have. All that is coming to a head later this month.
Okay.
All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 9.04, policy 3122.01, drug-free workplace, second reading and approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion that 9.04, policy 3122.01, drug-free workplace, be moved, approved on second reading.
I'll second that.
So motion by member Stevens, a second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments?
The comments on this one, and I'll comment on this one, that holds true for the next one as well, because one is professional staff and one is support staff. We really, during policy meeting, talked about the language use, that we could cover someone who may have had a glass of wine at dinner and come to a football game, or be at a RAM event. So we kind of come to end on the language and came up with an employee who reports for duty after using a controlled, oh, that one stayed the same, sorry. The next slide in the middle, an employee who attends any corporation sponsored function and who exhibits the effects of intoxication is in violation of this. So we kind of added that language in to help support that, okay, maybe you are part of RAM or the symphony and you've had a glass of wine, but you're not exhibiting. I know there's a little gray area, but we wanted to make sure it wasn't like,
Like you absolutely can't
right.
have a glass of wine and then come to a.
And this is only to do with sponsored functions also. This is not reporting for duty, that is not allowed, and that's in this policy as well.
Any other questions? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 9.05, policy 4122.01, drug-free workplace, second reading and approval.
I move we approve policy 4122.01 to second reading and approval.
Second. That's a motion by member Brunton, a second by member Iloriaga. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Next up, we have item 10, open forum.
I do have one item, earlier we were going to nominate for policy chair, so I just wanted to throw that out. They nominated Member Bratton. She's sort of been our policy chair all through last year, the made a job, and I should nominate her to continue that.
I'll second.
Yes.
All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0.
I actually have an item about the policy group.
On that note.
So at the policy meeting yesterday, we were able to have a conversation about the facilities policy, and I think that was our second or third time talking about it. It was, just so the public knows, we get around 800 or so requests a school year for the use of our facilities. We have a policy and administrative guidelines. Yesterday to our policy meeting, Tim Miller, our insurance agent, was that the word? Insurance representative, thank you, came to say that he reviewed the policy and the guidelines. He feels really like this is a really strong policy and that our forms are right on point, that they pass insurance audits. Karen recommends no changes to the forms at this time, but we did have a good discussion about group A, B, and C that have to do with policy. Or sorry, that have to do with facility use. Group A quickly is just RCS school related groups and partnerships. We have a list of our partnerships on the board here. And so those people who fall in that category, organizations have no charge for facility use. Group B are community not-for-profits, and we have a schedule that's online that you can see that's very small amount, $25, depending on 25 to 50, depending on what you want to use. No, 25 to 100. So, and then group C is commercial groups outside of RCS district. They are slightly higher. We did discuss the fees have not changed since 2001. So but we also said that may be another time to reflect on changes, but right now suggested they say the same. A suggestion came about that I thought was great, that if we have a request for a waiver, so sometimes we have waivers come in where someone wants a request, I don't want to be charged at group B or C, I'd like a waiver to use the facility free, that waiver come before the board at a board meeting so we can discuss and look at all those individually. We did talk about at policy how, there's liability, there's fees for janitors, there's fees for cleaning, someone has to be on staff there. So when we allow community partners, which are listed here, to use our facilities, it costs us money, but we also, we want to build that community connection. We want the community, and obviously the community is using our facility. But if we do get a request for a waiver, that it comes before the board and we can discuss it and vet it out and make a decision based on that. If that sounds good to everyone. I don't think we have to vote on it, but it seemed like, we discussed it, and I want to make sure everyone felt comfortable with that process.
And again, we had, there was concern several months ago that was brought up, and we've brought it to the policy meeting several times, and, nothing's necessarily been recommended for changing. And it seemed like kind of, we had some isolated events that, again, had things been different, we wouldn't have any concerns. So that's kind of what I was hearing as far as the recommendation of administration.
I think that's really good, because I know some of those isolated events that they've all been willing, it was sort of like, I can't take that hit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So trying to work with them, maybe they had certain agreements before, now they don't. So I think it's good that they can, if there is a waiver, they can say, hey, I've got this built into whatever fees they might be charging, or whatever strategic plan they have to kind of grow their partnership. So and so I think that's a good compromise. it doesn't really scare people away.
That is probably a good idea. We have the same waiver provision type in the policies that the county has. Of course, the big facility there, everybody's looking at is the fairgrounds and parts of them. And one nuance was we had a private out of state for profit file an application to use, but 100% of their proceeds are going to a not-for-profit charity. So you'll get nuances. So you'll be splitting hairs, I guess, sometimes.
President Button, while I
Yes.
respect the suggestion as to not to bring such a decision to a vote, I would actually, from an administrative standpoint, almost believe that it would assist us in making sure that we're carrying out
The will of the board. I said you didn't have to.
carrying out what the board would prefer, because if not, then even through dialogue and open conversation, it may send miscues our way, whereas the folks would let us know this is the route.
Well, I would still like to sort of just the written, like, process, just so we know what we're actually voting. I think you have consensus that
I think there's
we want to start
consensus,
off
and that
I would,
yeah, I feel like that gives you direction to change administrative guidelines that we don't vote on. So the consensus is what I'm hearing is that we will, if there's a waiver requested, it's decided by the board. Is that, do y'all agree with that? It will come, if there's a waiver request, it comes before the board in a public meeting. And I don't know who adjusts the administrative guidelines, is that?
I do.
Okay, Stephen, can you adjust that?
Yes.
Okay, great. If everyone's comfortable with that, you have consensus and we're giving the okay to adjust that.
Yes.
That's direction.
Consensus was maintained.
Okay. Great.
And just to clarify, I thought that they had said at the policy meeting that prices hadn't gone up since 2021. So it really is 2001.
Oh, did I no, 2021.
Okay.
Did I say 2001?
You said 2001.
21.
Okay. I was like,
Mike, I saw your eyes.
I just asked him.
okay, see, just wanted to
No,
clarify.
I have it written.
I was in college today.
2021.
It was a big
Okay. Actually, it was last reviewed
I was like,
May
oh, wow.
26, 2021. So,
Oh.
I mean, there's still this inflation that has occurred. Obviously, we all
Right.
but not
That's
that.
a lot
Yes.
more years.
I just wanted to also mention that open forum that I want to give a pat on the back to our board because I started noting that since our last meeting in December, we've had 5 other meetings, policy meetings, strategic planning, retreat, and caucus. And we've been busy and we have visits planned to visit in buildings and now tour. I mean, we keep very busy. So good job, board. I just want to say we've been putting in a lot of hours. Yes.
Anything else? All right, we'll move on to preview upcoming meetings and events. Next meeting will be a special policy meeting Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 10 a.m. And the next school board business meeting on Wednesday, February 18th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Right back here in this room. Item number 12, Dr. Wright, we have a bell ringer.
Yes, sir. President Bryan, trustees, I'm going to ask that Mrs. Hazelbaker rejoin us for this evening's bell ringer prior to adjournment. Mrs. Hazelbaker, welcome back.
Thank you. So January is school board member appreciation month. So we have a small little acknowledgement for all of you. So again, we appreciate, the community appreciates the school students, parents. We all appreciate your time and effort that you do to give back to our community, to our coworkers, to all of us. So again, I just wanted, that's our accolade, it's our opener, is that thank you all for your service to our community. So thank you.
All expenses paid.
So again, with all of those meetings you just mentioned as well.
I wasn't trying to get him down.
I was trying to say thank you, everyone. So again, thank you, and just as a reminder, we have some, we do a board photo, so we can also celebrate you all also for School Board Appreciation Month. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Awesome. It's up.
Meeting